Beautiful. So this week's Parsha, Shoftim. It says at the beginning of the Parsha, Shoftim ushoitrin titen lecha b'chol sha'arecha. You need to put judges and law enforcement people on all the gates of your city. Mikey. You have to put judges. We have to put judges and law enforcement. So the people who make the decisions, and then you need the policemen to carry out the decisions. So our deepest Sfarim, our real sources, teach us that what are the sha'arecha, what are the gates of your city? Your head is your city, and your gates are your eyes and your ears and your nose and your mouth. Your senses. You have a city in here, and you have to be the king of the city. Don't let anyone in the city. You have to start choosing what am I going to let in and what am I not going to let in. So we have something called kashrut. Don't put pig in your mouth. Very important. Don't eat not kosher things. It's not good for you. But there's kashrut of your eyes. What are you letting into your eyes? What are you watching? Are you watching? Think God gave you eyes to see the beauty of creation and the pain of other people so you can help them and have compassion. Didn't give you eyes to look at some things you're looking at. You have to judge. So first you have to judge. Is this something that I want to enter my consciousness? Your consciousness is your city. You don't want just all stuff to enter your consciousness. You've got to start choosing. Is that good? Not good. What are you listening to? What music are you listening to? Is it from a healthy and holy source? Or is it angry and not holy? What music are you listening to? What food are you eating? Even what are you smelling? We walked past somewhere the other day. On Gansaka, on Shabbat, a group of Sri Lankans having a barbecue. They're allowed to do that. We walked past, I was walking with my daughter and the smell came and she was like, oh, that smells. I was like, not sure we want to be smelling that right now. I don't want that smell. And I said to her, to be fair, it's probably kosher meat. They bought it in Israel, probably, but still, I don't want to be enjoying the smell of barbecue on Shabbat. It's not terrible, but you're licking your lips, Mikey. Just talk about barbecue. Okay. Shoftim or shaitrin. So what the shoftim is, you have to start deciding what do I want in and what do I not want in. Famous story. A chassid came to see the Kotzker Rebbe. Very, very holy man. Fierily into the truth. Just what is true. And he walked for many days to get to Kotzk. He met the Rebbe and he said, I have a problem in my tefillah. When I'm davening, thoughts are coming into my head about whatever, and business and women and stuff I don't want to be thinking about coming into my head. So the Kotzker Rebbe said to him, I'm so sorry, I just can't help you. He said, what do you mean? You're the Kotzker Rebbe, you're like the master. Can't help you. Get out of here. He was a little bit upset. Walked all the way back home, 3, 4, 5 days, got back to his village. Arrives in his village and he sees these 3 men going in and out of his house, taking his furniture out of the house. There goes his couch, putting it out of the house. There goes his table, putting it out. He freaks out, screams at them, what are you doing? Can't come into my house, that's my property, what are you doing? And the men said, I'm so sorry, we got a message from the Kotzker Rebbe who told us to come and take all the stuff out of your house. She was like, what? Not only does he not help me, but now he's getting people to take stuff out. He charges back to Kotzk. Only takes him about a day this time. He's running back. Anger. He goes up to the Kotzk Rebbe and said, what are you doing? He said, what do you mean? He said, why did you tell people to take stuff out of my house? So the Rebbe said to him, well, what's so bad about that? And he said, well, it's my house. You can't go into my house if I don't let you in. So the Rebbe pointed to his head and he said, this is also your house. You can't come into your house if you don't let it in. Just say to those thoughts, sorry, you're not coming in now. Or if they come in, don't fight them, just they'll go out the back door. It's like one of those Roadrunner movies. Hey, he's coming, you open the door, just open the back door. Your thoughts are like that. If a thought that you shouldn't be having comes into your head, if you don't engage in it, then it just moves. Thoughts move. That's how they go. You don't have to stop them. You don't have to fight them. Don't fight a thought. That's going to hold it in there. Just either block it, say sorry, can't come in. It's asur, it's like pig. That's pig. You can't think about a woman that's not your wife. That's pig, you can't do that, you're not allowed. So the Yetzer Hara might throw that thought in your head, and that's not your fault, you're not blamed for the first thought. But what you do with it, that is up to you. So you've got two choices. Either you block it, or you just move out of the way. It's either taekwondo or aikido. Bam, or whoa. That's how you're going to deal with it. But first you have to be very discerning. What do I want to let into my consciousness? But then you have to have shoftim ushotrin. You have to implement that. That's your self-control. Self-control, I'm not letting that in. Very, very important. Then later, at the end of the Parsha, this is why we're really doing what we're doing. It says, Ki tetzei lemilchama al oivecha. Thank you. When you go out to war against your enemies, v'ra'ita sus v'rechev, and you see horse and chariot in the singular, should say susim v'rechavim. So when you see horse and chariot, am rav mimcha, a nation that's bigger than you, lo tira mehem, don't be afraid of them, ki Hashem elokecha imach, because Hashem's with you. When you go out to war against your enemies and you see a horse and a chariot, a nation much bigger than you, don't worry because Hashem's with you. Or ha'chaim ha'kodesh. You have to go and learn this on your own. It's awesome. Ki tetzei le'milchama. Ha'milchama adam im yitzro. Is obviously talking about your war. What's the biggest war? With your own Yetzer Hara. That's the war. Obviously, everything in the Torah is talking about the simple meaning. It's talking about when you go out to war. It is. But everything in the Torah has at least 70 layers of understanding, and it's always one understanding that has to do with personal and spiritual growth. So what's the personal and spiritual growth? When you go out to war, you will fight. Your war in your life is you against your Yetzer Hara, your demons. This is your enter the dragon, Bruce Lee, face your demons moment. It says this. We know that there's no greater war than this. The war of getting up in the morning. The war of not putting people down. The war of not getting upset when someone puts you down. The war of how you treat other people. The war of how you treat yourself. Everything, the whole of life, as it says in Mesilas Yesharim at the very beginning, is a battle. Milchama Gedola. It's a big battle. So everything in our life is a battle and a test. How we dress, how we eat, how we express ourselves. Hinei b'milchama zo yesh beis devarim kashim la'adam. In this war, we have two things that are very difficult for us. Shemit yashim kocho, that take away our strength. Aleph, hu she'enu melumad b'milchama. Kamo shehu melumad v'ragil b'min milchama zo Yetzer Hara. You're not very good at fighting this war. You haven't learned about this war, but your Yetzer Hara has. Your Yetzer Hara is a well-trained machine. It knows how to get you in a subtle way. You might beat it in one way, but then it's going to smack up in another way. Try to hold it down in one place, poof, it's popping up somewhere else. It knows you better than you know yourself. It knows when to get you, how to get you, all the time, and never gives up. Never gives up. It's called a fly. The Gemara calls the Yetzer Hara a fly. Why? Because it never gives up. A cat, if you shoo it away, it will come back. Shoo it away again, it won't come back. Fly, shoo it away forever, just. And we know what smell flies are attracted to, boys. So when you're stinky, you got the Yetzer Hara is like, okay, I'm in there. So the Yetzer Hara is very well trained. It's been doing this all the time. That's what it's there for. Never gives up. Knows you better. Whereas you're not well trained to fight your Yetzer Hara. Most people just listen to whatever it says. That's it. Most people aren't mindful enough to think, I don't have to listen to that voice. As it says in Pirkei Avot, Ezehu Gibor, who is a strong person, HaKoveshit Yitzro, the person who beats their Yetzer Hara. But most people never see that as a thing. When people are training in life, I want to be a good lawyer, I want to be a good tennis player, I want to be a good father even. Very few people say, I want to be a good thinker. People don't think that training is something that you need, that thinking is something you need to train. People don't think that thinking itself is something you need to become good at. So your negative thinking is very powerful and strong. Base, שהרכבת האדם חובקה דברי היצר בכל אשר יאמר עליו. The second problem is that your body, is your body on your side or on the Yetzer Hara side? Completely on the Yetzer Hara. Your body is literally an animal. The only difference between you and an animal is your soul. Well, everything else, your body's an animal. Eat, bathroom, sex, sleep, pleasure seeking. That's what your body is. Your body is literally an animal, and a soul was put into that animal. So your body is on the side of the Yetzer Hara. It wants to do what the Yetzer Hara says, come and lie in. Your body's like, yeah, of course I want to lie in. Yetzer Hara eat that chocolate cake. Your body's like, yeah, I love chocolate cake. So you've got the two major problems. You're not very well trained, and your body is on their team. You lechol kol asher tavat nafsho. You eat whatever you want. Oh, last week's Parsha, I noticed something great. It says that talk about the ani and the evyon, the poor person and the destitute person. And Rashi says the evyon is worse than the poor person. And how do you define evyon? Evyon comes from the word taiva, which means craving. And the exact words of Rashi, I don't have time to find it, but he says he has taiva for everything. He has taiva for everything. That makes you, so if you have taiva for everything, you might be the richest person in the world, but if you have taiva for honor and food and money and everything, you're called a destitute person. Yes?
So the Rosh Hashiva Shlita says that we could hack our mind and use our Yetzer Hara instead of like an adversary, but as like a tool, like use our cravings as rewards. Like, let's say like we like show up to the chakras early or like do a mitzvah that like we were otherwise struggling with and like treat ourselves with like something sweet.
True. So it says in the beginning of the Shema, it says, Ve'ahavta et Hashem Elokecha b'chol levavecha, and the Gemara says with both of your Yetzer Haras. But in order to do that, you have to control it first. You can't just go and use. First, you take control of your Yetzer Hara, and then, yes, 100%, use the passion, use the fire, use what you need in order to become great. There are 3 donkeys in the Tanakh, 3 main donkeys. Abraham's donkey, that he went to the Akedah on, Moshe's donkey, that he went to save the Jewish people on, and then Mashiach's donkey. So the word is, that was a she donkey. Talking about the 3 he donkeys. So the word for donkey is chamor. Chamor comes from the word chumriut, which means materialism. So the donkey represents physicality, materialism. So what did Avram do with his donkey? Yichbosh, he saddled his donkey. What did Moshe do with his donkey? The Pesukim says he rode on his donkey. So at that point, now that I've conquered my physicality and my chumrius, my material thing, now I can ride on it, I can use it. And it says by Mashiach, he's going to be megaleh on a donkey. He's going to be revealed on a donkey. A higher level where it's actually through the physical material form that we're going to see God in everything all the time. But you have to conquer it first. There's something called Kedusha, which is being in the physical world in a holy way. But always before Kedusha, there's something called Prishut. Prishut means separation. So yes, you can eat a cake solely and get the pleasure from the cake solely for God consciousness and the pleasure of God, but not while you're still craving it. As soon as you stop craving cake, I don't take it or leave it, only at that point then you can actually eat it how you're meant to eat it. Otherwise, no, but I'm saying a bracha. Yeah, you're just saying the bracha, you stuff your face with the cake. So as soon as you don't want it, you're not craving, you can eat it properly. So here we go. I've got to finish a bit early today because I'm smashing Gesher Shanelef. So basically, so what that means, it says, Kidei Teinu Melchama, and you see sus v'rechev. What's the sus? The sus is a horse, a war horse. The war horse is trained for war. So that represents what he was saying. The first thing is, the war horse is trained for war. So that's the problem. And the rechev is the body, the vessel for your soul. So it's saying, when it's a kisei melchama olevech, right? When you go to war against your Yetzer Hara and you see how well trained it is, sus, a well trained horse, and you see a rechev, you see that your body is also on the side of the Yetzer Hara. Don't worry, watch this. Am rav mimcha. It's a nation that is greater than you. You see this nation greater than you? Kegeneged kochot hara. שנתאספו ממנו מצד מעשיו הרעים, כמו שאמרו, אף על פי כן. When it says, Am Rav Mimcha, the simple meaning is a nation that's greater than you. Greater than you. Amrov, a nation greater mimcha, than you. Does anyone actually know what the mem at the beginning of a word often means? From you. It's greater from you. So he's saying, it's teaching that you're making your Yetzer Hara stronger. You're the one that's feeding it. It's a nation that's stronger because of you. You keep giving into it. Every time you give into your Yetzer Hara, it's getting stronger. Every time you give into your cravings, they're getting stronger. Feeding your cravings isn't making them get weaker, it's making them stronger. I'll just have one more piece of cake, one more cigarette, one more this, and then I won't want. That's not true. You have one more, that's going to increase your craving for it. So it's become greater than you. It's become stronger because of you. Lotira mehem, don't worry. Still don't worry. You're not trained for war. Your body is on the wrong side. You keep feeding. There's a famous Native American story, and the chief Bear is talking to everyone and saying, there are two wolves, the good wolf and the bad wolf, and they're in a war. And the children say, Chief Bear, who wins the war? And the chief says, whichever one you feed. So if you feed your Yetzer Hara, it's going to win. If you stop feeding it, don't listen to it, it gets a bit weak. It's like, Yetzer Hara is not that crazy. Piers Lesner Rebbe, very upset with people saying how big the Yetzer Hara is. Oh, you can't beat your Yetzer Hara, it's too big. He says it's like, he brings a midrash, it's like a highway robber. Everyone walks past the highway robber and they're scared. Oh, and he says, give me your money. They're scared, giving him money. One person walks past, give me your money. And the person looks at him and he says, oh my God, he's very old and weak and has no weapons. I'm not giving you my money. It's just that you think, highway robber, I'm very scared. So therefore you're scared of it. So that's the same as your Yetzer Hara. It appears scary and big, but if you just look at it, compared to your neshama, what are you talking about? Nothing. Your Yetzer Hara is nothing. Oh, have that schnitzel. Watch that. You're like, no, what are you talking about? I'm not going to do that. 1 second. Lotira, why shouldn't be afraid? Because Ki Hashem Elokecha Imcha. Because Hashem's with you, man. Once you connect to Hashem and you connect to your neshama, you don't want to speak Lashon Hara. It's not even hard. Do you think the Rosh Yeshiva has to struggle to stop himself speaking Lashon Hara? It's not. It's a joke. I don't know. I don't have bad things to say about people. Lotira mehem, because Hashem's with you. Yes.
So you said whichever one you feed. So let's say your Yetzer Hara says, go into X, Y, Z. Then your
Yetzer Tov says, go and do BC.
Go do, yeah. So you're saying, once you get that thought, you actively go and negotiate with the Yetzer Tov.
You don't no negotiation. You have free will. Yetzer Hara says Y or Z. Yetzer Tov says Aleph or Bet. You go to the Aleph or Bet, clearly, but that's the Shoftim or Shotrin. You have to first judge what is good, what bad. Because sometimes the Yetzer Hara comes to you looking good. Hey, you need to spend 1 more hour learning in the Beis Midrash. Or maybe that's just because he wants you to be really tired tomorrow. Like, you've got to know yourself well enough, and your Yetzer Hara, and you need a mentor, you need a Rebbe to really say, hold on, you're pushing yourself too hard now, actually. It's not you're not being a healthy human being. No, but I've got to daven like this and do this and grow and shtite. Yeah, but you're becoming an unhealthy human being. So sometimes your Yetzer Hara is very clever. It's cleverer than you, your Yetzer Hara. So you just got to be aware. Shoftim and Shotrim. First you judge, but understand you don't have to worry, because as soon as you connect to spirituality and godliness, it doesn't matter. Rechev, sus, mimcha. Just stop feeling it. Hear it. Famous story, I tell it in every class for the last 15 years. My daughter, who's only 12 now, when she was about 4, she said to me, Abba, my Yetzer Hara told me not to share my toys with Binyamin. That's her younger brother. But I didn't listen to it, and I shared them anyway. So she identified the voice of the Yetzer Hara. She didn't then identify with it and put herself down. Oh, what's wrong with me for thinking that? That's so bad. And she didn't follow it. Okay, I won't. She just said, I'm not going to do that. Are you joking? I'm just not going to do that. Binyamin found some money on the floor a year or so ago. He said, Abba, here's your 10 shekels. I said, thanks, Binyamin. He goes, I just want you to know, Abba, that when I first saw it, my Yetzer Hara told me to keep it, buy ice cream. I don't think I'm going to do that. So I gave it back to her. I said, really? And people said, did you buy him an ice cream? And I said, no, because I wanted the reward to be how good he felt about himself. Not that he got the ice cream. I don't want him to feel that he got the reward. A few weeks later, I got him an ice cream. I said, remember that? So good. Shoftim Shochim, you work out what you want in your consciousness, you do it, but understand that your war in life is one war. Your Yetzer Hara. Do the good thing or the bad thing, and it's very strong and it's bigger than you. But second, you connect to your soul and Hashem, not such a difficult war. It's easy. And in fact, the Gemara says that when we all die, the Rashayim are going to see the Yetzer Hara, and they're going to see it was just a tiny little hill, and they're going to be like, what an idiot. I could have beaten it. I can't believe I didn't beat that. And the Tzaddikim are going to see the Yetzer Hara as this huge thing, and they're going to be like, wow, I can't get it. Because you get what you earn. You get what you work for. It says, the bigger the tzaddik, the bigger the Yetzer Hara. And it has to be that way, because the bigger you get, you've got to fight a higher level. But that doesn't mean that the Rosh Yeshiva is thinking the disgusting things you're thinking. It means it's more refined. His Yetzer Hara is, when he walks into the Beis Midrash and everyone stands up, how much kavod he feels. Very subtle. Like, for us, that would be the greatest mitzvah we ever did. But so he has his own struggle. Don't worry, he has his struggle. But on a very fine, pure, refined level, how much kavanah do I have in this bracha? How much? We should be zeicher to strengthen ourselves.